You're listening to Daily Review. In the next few minutes, we're diving into a powerful idea from Ryan Holiday's book, Ego is the Enemy. We're going to talk about the one opponent that's tougher than any other, mainly because it lives right inside each and every one of us. You know, the brilliant physicist Richard Feynman, he just completely nailed it with this one. Our internal enemy, our ego, it gets stronger based on the stories we tell ourselves. It's a true master of self-deception, always trying to convince us that we're a little bit better, a little more special, a little more important than we really are. And like Feynman said, fooling yourself is the absolute fastest way to fail. Okay, so just to be clear, we're not talking about some dry Freudian concept here. For our purposes, ego is just an unhealthy belief in our own importance. The best way to think about it is like that whiny, petulant child that lives inside all of us. The one that would rather get its way right now than actually achieve its most important long-term goals. So the thing about ego is it's not a one-and-done fight. Not at all. It's this constant, ongoing battle, and it attacks us in different ways depending on where we are in our journey. It's right there when we're just starting out, it's there when we find success, and it is definitely there when we fail. So, understanding this journey is really the key. We're pretty much always in one of these three phases: aspiring to do something, succeeding at it, or failing. And that's exactly how we're going to break this down. Let's kick things off with the climb, aspiration. All right, first up, aspiration. This is that moment when we're starting out. You know, we're full of big dreams and grand plans. But here's the catch. Ego is the enemy of all the quiet, diligent hard work that it takes to achieve anything real. It wants all the glory without any of the grind. I mean, come on, we've all been there, right? It feels so good to talk about that amazing book we're gonna write or the killer company we're gonna build. It's just so much easier than actually sitting down and doing the work. And believe it or not, studies show that just talking about our goals can actually trick our brains into feeling like we've already done something, which sucks away the very energy we need to, do the thing. And this all boils down to a really powerful choice, one that the legendary fighter pilot John Boyd laid out perfectly for his students. He'd ask them a simple but profound question. Do you want to be somebody, or do you want to do something? See, to be is all about the ego, chasing titles, getting credit, getting recognized. But to do, that's about the work itself, the mission. It's about actually earning it. So to be or to do, that question is basically the central battleground when you're in that aspiration phase. It's like a constant choice you have to make in your own head. Your ego is always screaming at you to just be somebody important, while your true purpose is quietly calling you to do something that actually matters. Okay, so what happens when you actually succeed? You put in the work, you did the thing, you achieved your goal. You're on top of the world. But guess what? That's when a whole new and honestly a way more dangerous version of your ego shows up to the party.
And if you want a perfect cautionary tale for this, just look at Howard Hughes. The guy was a legitimate genius and incredibly brave pilot. But his early, massive success, it fed an ego that basically set the stage for a lifetime of total waste, crippling paranoia, and just misery. And the price he paid was just unbelievable. We're talking millions of dollars, 20 million back then, on the Spruce Goose, this giant plane that flew exactly once for a single mile. He drove RKO Studios straight into the ground. His ego didn't just cost him his money, it cost him everything. His friends, his sanity, and in the end, his life.
The legendary basketball coach Pat Riley actually has a name for this. He calls it the disease of me. And it's what he saw infecting championship teams right after they won it all. All of a sudden, that collective feeling of we just dissolves and becomes I. Individual players start thinking they were the real reason for the win. And that ego just shatters the very unity that made them successful in the first place. So what's the antidote here? It's keeping a level head and staying focused on your purpose. And there's no better example than General George C. Marshall. When President Roosevelt offered him command of the D-Day invasion, the most glorious career-making job in the entire war, Marshall simply told him that he should give the job to whoever was best for it. He put the mission before his own legacy. And that brings us to our last stage, failure. Look, Failure's going to happen. It happens to everyone. It's not the end of the world. The real danger is when ego gets involved. It takes a temporary setback and makes it feel like this permanent personal judgment, and it can stop us from ever getting back on our feet.
The story of Katharine Graham is just an incredible masterclass in how to handle this. After her husband's tragic death, she, this unprepared widow, suddenly finds herself running the Washington Post. And then she just faces this relentless storm of crises: the Pentagon Papers, Watergate, a brutal strike that nearly destroyed the paper. But because she didn't have an ego getting in the way, she navigated it all with unbelievable strength and grace.
And this all brings out this incredibly powerful choice that every single one of us has when we face a setback. You can choose what's called dead time, which is basically just passively waiting around, blaming other people, and feeling sorry for yourself. It's wasted time. Or you can choose a live time, where you actively use every single second as a chance to learn, to grow, and to act. It's time that you invest. Malcolm X is the absolute perfect example of this. Think about it. He could have just let his 7-year prison sentence be dead time, a total waste. But he didn't. He chose a live time. He famously copied the entire dictionary by hand just to build his vocabulary. He read everything he could get his hands on, and he turned his biggest failure into the very foundation of the man he would become. So the big takeaway here is that fighting your ego isn't something you do once and then you're done with it. Nope, it's a daily practice. It's just like sweeping the floor. You do it once, but that doesn't mean the floor is clean forever. Every single day, the dust comes back. And every single day, we have to sweep. We have to choose humility and purpose over ego.
So we'll leave you with this to think about. Look at your own life right now. Where are you? Are you in that aspiration phase, the success phase, or maybe the failure phase? And no matter where you are, who's winning that war for your soul? Is it your purpose, or is it your ego? Thanks for listening to Daily Review. If you enjoyed it, the best way to support us is to subscribe and leave a reading. Ready to read the book? Using the purchase link in our description directly supports the show and the author. We'll see you tomorrow.